and particularly with teenagers, relationships, is vital to having a good and healthy relationship. Actually, it's important in any kind of relationship. I asked a few girls at my school what they thought about patients in the relationships they have with their parents. One of them said this: "I think a lot of this depends on how much respect there is between us. Understanding where my parents' opinions come from and knowing how to handle them is pretty important." This is depending on the topic of conversation, of course. Knowing where I stand is important too, but I never lose control or interrupt my parents, and they also don't interrupt me. Another girl said, "When my mother and I argue, I tend to just be quiet, but eventually we sit down and talk. We're very alike, and we've managed to come to an understanding about certain things, and we just try to listen to each other when the other's trying to get their point across." On the other hand, a few girls spoke about how their parents don't exercise patience in relationships, and I'd just like you to think about whether or not this relates to you as well. My mom always interrupts me when I'm trying to get a point across to her. When I'm busy doing something, she can't wait for me to finish and then ask me to do something else. Instead, she wants me to do millions of things at the same time. This is an issue which has to be addressed, as it may seem like something small and insignificant, but it makes children feel flustered and confused as to what to do first. A way of addressing this is to simply ask the child, or to just tell your parents, how you prefer to receive instructions. Some children can process a number of instructions at the same time, and others simply can't. It's important that parents take the time to get to know their parents get to know their children, not just what they're doing in their day-to-day lives, but more importantly, how they think and how they feel. And it is important to share all of this with your parents. Islam teaches us that everything starts with a statement of intent, ameera. In parent-child communications, it is easier to exercise patience when we state the intention of our conversation before we engage with each other, particularly with things like going out with friends. If we also try to wear the other's shoes, we gain a better insight into what motivates their words and their behavior. This knowledge empowers us to exercise more patience. When it comes to going out, all a parent really wants to know is that we're going to be safe and that the people we're going to be with are trustworthy. So in order to build trust and a good relationship, we need to give all of the information. Always give all of the information, as this can only strengthen your bond in the long run. From the parent side, what helps is to have set and agreed upon rules with rewards and consequences. Children must participate in this and be in agreement with it. This sets the boundaries for children. Wrong and right is thus clearly defined in the household. This type of controlled environment, and when I say controlled, I don't mean controlling, I just mean that there are rules and boundaries. So in this controlled environment, the acceptable behavior has been agreed upon, which means that neither parent nor child needs to be reactionary. It's easier then to exercise patience when something happens or when a toe is put out of line. As hard as it may seem to bring someone into a parent-child relationship, a good place to start would be to define the values, the ethos that your family aspires to uphold. All of the members of this family must represent these values in their behavior, both in the home and outside of it. Honesty, kindness, respect, all values which can be used in a family. Just keep in mind that a family is a group of individuals working towards a common goal, be it financial stability or spiritual fulfillment. Something that has occurred to me is that as teenagers today, we are the MTV generation. In this environment of overexposure to the media, we are constantly bombarded with images of instant gratification. Buy it now, wear it now, do it now. This conflicts directly with the ethos of sovereign Islam. Almost everything about Islam tells us to delay gratification. For example, we fast, so we delay eating. Before we perform salah, we perform wudu. So we delay salah in order to mentally prepare for the task we're about to perform. Everything about the MTV generation is instinctive. There is no mental preparation for the acts. Everything is instant. Instant access to data, instant messaging, even instant coffee. Now, I'm sure many of you are eager to get home, but I urge you to exercise your patience for a few more moments. And remember that there are always two buttons, a green calm button and a red panic button. And before you hit the panic button, stop. Take a step back. Think. Exercise your patience. Because that panic button could initiate a sequence of self-destruction. But the green button could set you on the path of righteousness and sabr. Shukran.
Shukran, Ameera. I'm just going to add, I also now understand the MTV generation. It makes me find my work much more easier as well.
Just wait. Allahu Akbar. دعاء متبع.
اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت سيدنا محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة والشرف والدرجة العالية الرفيعة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته وارزقنا شفاعته يوم القيامة إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. Make your sunnah, please.